Hello, my name is Xavier Thorpe, and I'm a senior at Livermore High School. I first want to thank the Livermore-Granada boosters for allowing me to be a finalist of the Olympian award. This has been a goal of mine since arriving at LHS. As soon as I was old enough to start playing sports, I was off and running. If it allowed me to hang out with my friends, I couldn't wait to be on a field, any field. It started with soccer, then to t-ball to baseball. Then I had basketball, flag football, rugby, volleyball, lacrosse, track and field, and finally football. I think the only sport I was never interested in was wrestling, and that was solely based on the uniforms. I've earned 12 athletic letters in high school, 3 years on varsity football, 2 years on basketball, 3 years on lacrosse, and 4 years on track and field, shot put, and discus. I've been lucky enough to receive several Division I football scholarship offers. When I look back at my journey through football, it was more than a progression than just joining LJFL. When I approached my mom and said I wanted to play football, she looked at me and said, "So you're thinking like being a kicker?" When I said no, not a kicker, she took a deep breath and said, "Let me think about it." So she thought about it, and I was signed up for flag football. That lasted a season, and I was wanting more from football than flag. So my mom thought about it again, and believe it or not, I didn't get football. Instead, she signed me up for rugby. I wasn't sure about it, but I was willing to try it. Come to find out later, she said this to see if I really like contact, and it was supposed to teach me the proper way to tackle. So my first rugby game, I spent running from end to end with 2 or 3 kids hanging off me trying to tackle me. So seeing if I like contact kind of backfired on her. The thing I remember most about rugby was the other parents yelling from the sideline, "There's no way that kid is 10." After that, my mom finally gave up and signed me up for the Livermore Junior Football League. I ended up getting a couple of great coaches who taught me the fundamentals of the game. But due to my size, I was relegated to only being able to play on the line as an X-Man. A few years later, I was moved up to the 8th graders when I was a 7th grader, allowing me the opportunity to try and play something else other than being an X-Man. I even went out for middle school track to try to keep on keeping my weight down. I didn't get the opportunity to try another position other than the line that year. I ended up earning a starting position as an X-Man. When I got to high school, I intended on playing football and baseball, but then COVID hit. Football was pushed back, so if I wanted to play football, I couldn't play baseball. I ended up going with football. Due to COVID, the freshman team was merged with the JV team. I earned a starting position on both the offensive and defensive side of the ball that year. Going into my sophomore year, I was asked to try out for the varsity team. I ended up earning a starting position as an offensive tackle. I really wanted to get on the defensive side of the ball, to be able to tackle someone instead of just blocking. So whenever the coach asked for something to play on the defensive side, I would raise my hand and not get picked. He would then ask me, "I want someone on the special teams," and I would raise my hand again, but he said anyone but Xavier. At this point, I wasn't understanding what I was doing wrong. It was my mom who said it's not her place to talk to the coaches anymore. It's time for me to advocate for myself. It was at this point I started building my relationships with my coaches. Come to find out, they didn't want me getting hurt playing another position because I was too important to the offensive line. Still not giving up on wanting to be on the defensive side, my senior year I put in a lot of work that summer and was rewarded with the starting position on both sides of the ball. That came at a price. After the first game I played, my mom said, "Xavier, I know you don't want to hear this, but you didn't look so good out there. I get that you want to play on both sides of the ball, but you're trying to earn a scholarship and your offense is taking a hit. I'm not going to lie and say that didn't sting. One, because it was true. I didn't play my best, but I knew I could do better. So I took this as a challenge, and by the third game, I was starting to hit my stride. I played every play on both sides of the ball this year, less a handful of plays. I earned EBAL First Team Offensive Player and EBAL MVP Defensive Player of the Year. All my hard work has paid off, and I've earned a scholarship to continue playing football at Washington State University, where I plan to study criminal justice. I just recently finished another journey in my life. On top of being a year-round athlete, I've been a Boy Scout as well. I started my scouting path in first grade with Cub Scouts. Cub Scouts gave me the chance to be with my friends and do outdoor activities. Boy Scouts taught me leadership skills I was able to take in my sporting life. Life lessons and the way you treat your fellow man in our planet is something that will stay with me for my life. I was the only one in my friend group to stay in scouting, and this past year I just earned my Eagle Scout rank. All the experiences I've had since scouting and the time I've started playing sports has taught me so much. It's taught me how to work and earn what I'm trying to achieve. It's taught me communication skills to help me be a successful leader on and off the field. And it's taught me morals so I can be a role model for future athletes and a young man coming behind me. I remember my mom saying it takes a village to raise a child, and that she is always grateful and thank the ones around her for their help. I can now say I understand this because I recognize my village now. It's been all my coaches, teachers, scoutmasters, close friends, and my family. This is my chance to say to each and every one of you, thank you. Thank you for giving me the time to teach me how to play a sport, how to navigate in the outdoors, for pushing me to work harder and do better, for instilling in me values that made me the man in front of you today. This village has prepared me to take into the next steps in my life, and I'm grateful to each and every one of you. So again, thank you, and Cavaliers for life.